Hello, my fellow Americans. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One. It is Thursday, October the 24th, the year 2013. Obamacare. What? I mean, pathetic. I mean, my background, as some of you probably know by now, data processing, computer programmer, computer science degree. These guys had to be total idiots, buffoons. I mean, it's a simple database. It's not that difficult. Really. The code can't be that tough. But there's the government for you. But I got to thinking, and nobody seemed to put this out there. Maybe I'm the first, or maybe I just haven't heard anybody else say it, but they're saying it. What if somebody sabotaged the project? It could have happened. Maybe somebody that was working on it didn't want Obamacare, and they just threw a monkey wrench in it. They just put some code in there just to make it bomb. It's quite possible. But then again, I don't think it's sabotage. The reason being is we know the government can't get anything right in the first place. They just can't. But you have to just laugh. And Obama gets out there on the White House lawn and says, yeah, call this phone number. And then you call the phone number, and then the person on the other end says, well, wait for like a couple of days, and then call, and then try and get on, but go on late at night or early in the morning is your best bet. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And then I read that so many people are on food stamps that the program just might have to come to an end, or they're going to have to make some dramatic and drastic cuts. You see, the real problem, though, lies with we the people. For many reasons, but the one main reason is something I read in a email newsletter that I received. And the guy was talking about personal responsibility. Now, I've talked about it before, but he put a little different spin on it. And I may have alluded to it, but not in quite this way. You know, I say things like Tony Robbins will say, you know, if you want better answers, ask better questions. Basically, what this guy is saying is, if you want better results, then make better choices. And it's really simple when you think about it. I mean, if you want a healthier life, if you want to be healthy, make better choices when it comes to food and exercise. It's not difficult. It really isn't. The information's out there is what this guy was pointing out. I think it's Craig Ballantyne who I'm talking about here. And he said that the information is out there, and it's out there for free, especially if you have internet access. You want to be healthy, you make better food choices and health choices, exercise choices. It's not a mystery. And he went on to say that you just have to make these choices and stick to it. You can't move the line like Ringer says. You just can't keep moving that line. For an example, if somebody's a vegetarian, they're a vegetarian. They don't eat meat, no matter what. So in other words, if the office is going out and they go to a burger joint, they're not going to eat a burger just to be social, just to be one of the gang. No, they're a vegetarian. Their life is more important than this social stuff. And you see, it's called taking personal responsibility and making the better choice. Same way with finances. You don't understand money? There's plenty of books. You know, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You can look at this stuff for free on the internet. We know that if you get into debt, consumer debt, that's bad. We know it, but look at the credit card bills that people run up. the credit card debt. It's ridiculous. Once again, personal responsibility. You know, we've been taught to be a consumer. And right before I making this video, I was thinking about that. Because I remember back in my 20s, I didn't go on vacations. I didn't want to spend the money on vacations because I wanted to have something to show for the money that I had earned and spent. And then I realized that that was part of being brainwashed in a consumer. You want to have something to show for the money. You know, Kiyosaki teaches, you know, you buy assets. You buy things that will make you money so you don't have to worry about, you know, your golden years. And fortunately, I learned this in my 30s. So now that I'm in my 50s, you know, I'm doing okay. But the point is that, once again, it gets back to the individual. We the people. See, there's too many people who have this entitlement mentality. And that's part of the government propaganda. You see, in the beginning, people were fighting for their right to freedom. Now people are fighting for, hey, I want my piece of the pie. No, 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 no. And you see, Obama even, you know, campaigned on that. You know, hey, you know, you're going to have to, you know, redistribute the wealth. That's socialism. Or as Dr. Ben Carson would say, he goes, no, that's Russia. You know, that's not America, not the America that we grew up in. But you see, it's still all back to personal choice. Personal responsibility. I mean, when I was growing up, food stamps weren't even in existence, and nobody wanted a handout. That was shameful. We had something called self-pride, self-respect. There's no way we take a handout. Nowadays, they just line up. Gimme, gimme, gimme. I mean, back in the 60s, 70s, not working, I realize the economy's different, but still, if you want a job, there's always a job to be had. You might not like the pay, but some people would rather work than take the free ride. But the problem is that there's so many people taking the free ride that the mentality of the country is shifted, because we now have more people receiving than working. That's the tipping point. It's almost game over. And I watched this one video saying, you know, with the way the country's going, and all the debt, and raising the debt ceiling, and piling it on, is that pretty soon nobody in the world's going to want US dollars, and our economy's just going to implode, and prices are going to skyrocket. And people think, no, no, can't happen here. That's the normalcy bias kicking in. But it can happen here, and is happening here. Look at the price of gas. Look at the price of milk. Look at the price of eggs, the price of corn, you know, soybeans, pork bellies, on and on. All the commodities are just, they've just increased over the past decade or so. But now this is something I really want you to ponder. They're raising the debt ceiling. So what they're doing is they're going out and they're borrowing money. But to pay it back, the Fed is just cranking out new money at the printing presses. Now, what's wrong with that picture? I want you to think about it. If all they're doing is cranking out dollar bills to pay off debt, why would you borrow money in the first place if you can just print it? I mean, think about it. If you had your own printing press, or your laser printer, or 3D printer, whatever, and you can print dollar bills to pay off your debt, wouldn't you just do that? Because what they're doing is like, I drive into town, sit in front of the bank officer, take out a loan. Now I'm indebted to the bank, but then I come home and I print out money. I don't get it. It just doesn't make sense. You go into debt, you get this money, where's that money go? And then you take this money that you're printing to pay back. I don't know. It's like Chinese arithmetic. I don't get it. Okay, oh geez, I guess that's not politically correct. But I think you understand the gist of it. It doesn't make sense. But you see, once again, the responsibility is on we the people's backs. Because we put those bozos in office, and now look what happened. And those of you who don't vote, well, maybe next time, next election, 2014, you might just go out and vote for whoever is not the incumbent. Just don't re-elect anybody. And then maybe we can get a change here. But in the meantime, my fellow Americans, it's time to wake up and smell the tyranny.